This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. You've no doubt heard the saying that less is more, but does that hold true for home versions of classic arcade games? We're going to take a look at Galaga, both the tiny and micro versions, compare and contrast right now.
Don't you know that you're a grown-up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown-up.
Hey there, and welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, I'm a GenXGrownUp, and I want to thank you for checking out this video and the rest of the channel. We've had a lot of fun here on GXG looking at some of the tiny versions of classic arcade machines that have been coming into our homes. And in this video, I have two versions of Galaga, both from Super Impulse. Now, we've looked at both of these types of machines before, but never Galaga. Now, on the one hand, we have the Tiny Arcade. These are the small, actually keychain style arcade cabinets. They've really been around for a long time. They usually run for 20 bucks or so, but lately they've been coming down quite a bit. I think I got this one for clearance, I don't know, for $10 or $12. And by and large, I've had a great experience with these. They're not accurate ROMs, but considering it's a keychain, the sound is typically good, game is typically good, so I have high hopes for this one. And then on the other hand, we have the Micro Arcade version of Galaga. Same manufacturer, Super Impulse. I've looked at a few of these already, and the reviews haven't gone great. What I will say is usually the biggest problem with the micro arcades is the sound. They have this tiny little tinny piezo speaker, and in this day and age, that's a tough pill to swallow. Look, my cell phone has a teeny tiny speaker, and it can play everything just absolutely note perfect, so I would actually take a little thicker machine for better sound with these, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. What I will say is the Galaga is Series 3. The other versions I've looked at were from Series 1 and 2. So I've got to give Super Impulse the benefit of the doubt and assume they're iterating and improving upon the product that they already have, knowing what the criticisms are. So we'll see how this one goes. And if you'll stick around to the end of the video, I have an added bonus for you. In one of my previous reviews about one of the micro arcade machines, in fact, one of our viewers was really rude and demanding, and so I have a special message and gift for that viewer. You'll see that at the end of the video. Before we head to the table, if this is your first time watching GenXGrownUp, look for that little bar that lifts. See that subscribe button in the corner? Give it a click, maybe tick that notification bell. It makes it way easier for you to check out more of our Gen X inspired content just like this. All right, let's take the tiny and micro Galagas to the table right now. Oh, where to begin? I think we'll start with the Tiny Arcade. I think it's a little bit more of a known commodity. So yeah, let's crack it open and see. So you've probably seen these before. I just think they did a great job of preserving the look of an original arcade cabinet. You got the side art here. It's actually a keychain, which this is pretty bulky for anybody's keychain, I think. But the keychain, I think, is just a statement to say, look how little this is. I tend to take those off of mine. The other thing that's really great about this is you turn it on, and it has a lighted marquee, which is a bonus for a little item like that. I think that's really cool. You have two buttons here. You have a little joystick. Oh, it's loud as heck. We're going to get into gameplay in a second, but you can hear that it's loud. You can see the screen looks pretty good. We're going to take a look at the game momentarily. So as a little collectible or desktop keepsake, I mean, really nice design, and these just do a really nice job of replicating the look of those cabinets. Let's move along then to our micro arcade. These credit card size little guys, I like the idea a lot, and I think this is a really neat concept. Again, huge promises, authentic gameplay, full color screen. Okay, authentic gameplay. We'll see what you have to offer. But yeah, the Series 3 version of micro arcade. Let's get this one open. All right, here it is, fresh out of the package. And just like the other ones of its type, the Series 3 looks very, very similar. You have the four-way D-pad here. You have an A and a B button. Again, Galaga doesn't need two buttons. One pretty much I'm expecting is going to be start, and the other is going to be fire. Along the bottom, all you have is a micro USB port for charging. And I've heard other reviewers actually mention, and I should point out, that they hold charge for a long, long time. It's really impressive. I don't remember the last time I charged one of mine. I play them periodically, and they just don't go dead. That little battery really takes care of everything. Up here you have volume on or off, which is just sound or no, and then a power on or off switch. And of course, design is great, but it comes down to the gameplay. If all you wanted was just a toy to sit on your desk, you could 3D print that. It doesn't do anything. They're promising the real game in these, and Galaga is one of our all-time favorites here at GenXGrownUp. So where should we begin? I think we'll start with the known commodity. We'll start with the Tiny Arcade. Power switch is right here in the back. Start. Oh, sounds pretty good. The right song. Pardon my fingers in the way, it's just super tiny. That animation is interesting. It's like there's so few frames. It reminds me of like a fixed cell LCD screen from maybe the mid-80s. But then of course it's full color and it is, you know, all the pixels are there. Yeah, the dive animation is just a little slow for my taste. Oh, I gotta get caught. Of course I have to get caught. Music is really good, so that's got that going for it. Good job, Tiny Arcade. Yeah, look at that dive animation. That's just really strange. But once they get in formation, it's pretty good. One thing about playing Galaga on a little handheld like this is I'm sure the click of the button is annoying because you got to hammer on these buttons if you hope to have any chance. Oh, they'd love to come up underneath you. And it's hard to predict because of the limited frames of animation. It's a little difficult to tell just what angle they're going to go. Ooh, ow. One benefit to that kind of odd animation is it's almost easier to take them out as they come in for their initial approach. Yeah, catch me. All right, we got to get to the challenging stage, and you really haven't tested Galaga unless you've tested the challenging stage, have you? Let's get my ship back. Got it. Let's see if a double shooter is really helpful. Man, the big problem I have is the screen is so short, but they kept the size and scale of the aliens, and it's really difficult to to predict that dodge move. Come on, got him. All right, challenging stage, just a single shooter, but let's see. Oh, that animation really hurts it here because they look like they're not moving. They're just like, see how they're stepping? If you get just the right spot, I guess you can get it, but it's very unforgiving. And they don't loop back around. Wow. Whew. Okay. Pathetic. All right, I think we've seen enough of this one. Let's take a look at the micro. All right, little micro, let's see how you do. Oh. Sound. Oh, this suffers a similar problem. It's so short, and that animation problem, where they look like they're just stair-stepping. This is weird to say, but this one actually feels more controllable. I wasn't expecting that at all. Get me. The sound, though, is still so laughable. And look how close they are to you. With a short screen, it can be really difficult to their dive comes so fast. Oh, I'm in trouble. Ugh. But I'll make it to the challenging stage at least. Let's see what this one looks like. Very similar. And I can tell this is not the exact same game image. Oh, I'm also noticing that none of the bees rotate. They just move around the XY axis. They don't turn. That also contributes to the kind of lack of seeing the animation. I got 30 hits this time at least. Get him. Yeah. Okay. I think we get the idea here too. I've got to say, I'm actually a bit surprised by what I'm about to say here. Let's start with the Tiny Arcade. I had said early on that this is what I expected to do really, really well. What you didn't see in the highlights were how many times I had to work on camera, off camera, to just get to the challenging stage. So many of the things that we talked about are the same on both units. Even though they're not the identical ROMs, I will point out. There's some rules that are violated from real Galaga. But most importantly is the fact that the screen is so small while preserving the height of all of the sprites that there's so little space between the aliens and you that it's hard to anticipate those attack patterns. So I was dying a lot. I mean, a lot. But the bigger problem with this one versus the other one, even though they suffer from some of those same limitations, is that this one really isn't very ergonomic for me to get my fingers around. You saw my fingers were often in frame and kind of in the way of what you were trying to see. And there's no other thing I could do. I mean, that's where your fingers have to go. And so it was difficult to control and keep your fingers out of the way and see what was going on top of the other limitations. So the Tiny Arcade Galaga from Super Impulse, you're gonna get 2 tokens out of 5. Nice as a keychain, impressive what you've done in this small package. The sound, fantastic. So as I just turn it on, listen to it, play with it for a second, but you can't play Galaga on this Galaga, not really. And then we turn to the Micro Arcade. Yeah, I've given these a tough row in the past, and deservedly. And the Series 3, while it has not fixed the audio problems, they've done better with what they have. The sound was not as grating as previous ones. Maybe it's just in the sound design, or they're not trying to replicate really what's an actual Galaga. They picked some new and unique music and sounds. Here's the thing though. I had more fun playing the Micro Arcade version of Galaga. Even though it suffers from lots of rule-breaking things, the fact that I enjoyed it more means it's going to nose out the tiny version by just a little bit. So the Micro Arcade version of Galaga from Super Impulse, 2¼ tokens out of 5. So neither of these are versions of Galaga that you really want to play if you're aching to play genuine Galaga. They are nice novelties, they're fun to have on your desk and fun to collect. The fact that these are coming down in price quite a bit means that's a great kind of desktop toy. And even the Micro Arcades, I'm going to continue to collect them because A, I really love how they're built and how they're made, and I'm anxious to see how they improve over time, and will they ever get a good, real speaker that we really need inside of these. Okay. Thanks for hanging out to the end. I promised you I had a bonus for you, and here it is. So, one of our viewers named Arrow Rain left this message. Show the back, dumbass. He was talking about the back of a Micro Arcade machine. Now, I didn't show the back of it intentionally because there's almost nothing to see. But on this Galaga one, if you spin it around, you can see there's some logos on the back and these 4 little screws. So, just for you, Arrow Rain, there's 4 screws. Just for you. I really hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. GenXGrownUp is dedicated to bringing you new Generation X inspired videos every week. Here are a couple more you can watch right now, but for even more, subscribe and enable those notifications. And if you love what we do, we invite you to support us over on Patreon. And of course, your feedback in the comments and a quick thumbs up are always appreciated.